Hello everybody, it's Andy Mack here, just bringing you a bench update live from the Battlefield of Manassas, American Civil War 2mm. It's taking shape. I'm just obviously just at the very early stages of putting it together, but I'm just using cardboard. You've got the Warrington Turnpike along here, you've got the Stonehouse, Lewis Ford, Stonebridge will be there, Stony Ridge all along here. It's quite a sort of rolling terrain, so I'm going to be kind of levelling it up quite a bit, and I'm assuming kind of the base layer will be probably the rivers. Some of the roads might be raised up a little bit, I'll see. The turnpike probably will raise that up a tiny bit, but obviously some of the areas around will be slightly raised as well. So yeah, this is it. Obviously this is the 2mm, so it'll be like that. This is will be Chin Ridge along here. I did do a little trial of the paper towel method with PVA, and it worked very well. So yeah, what I plan to do is build that one won't be built up anymore, but build up the ridges and the hills appropriately. So 2mm can sort of progress up them okay, and then do the rivers. The roads will be probably a slightly raised from the most of the base layer. And just see how we get on really. We've got the sort of Manassas Railroad, is it along here? What's it called, that railroad? I'm not sure. The maps I'm using I've downloaded from the internet. There's quite a few on there, but it did take me a little while to find them. Which way did it go? Yeah, it goes around that way. So this is the map I'm using. So you've got the Stony Ridge, and it scales up okay really. That's the bit down the bottom here. This bit here looks, you're probably thinking, crikey, you don't remember that, but this is kind of off the map. Most maps of the battle kind of the bottom edge of the battle is often it wasn't, but certainly for wargaming purposes, a lot of people wargame with Stuart's Hill, which is this area here, as a bottom area for the second Manassas. The railroad cut is along here. This is the railroad cut. Brawner's Farm, Groveton, and then other features. Henry Hill, haven't done that yet. Dogan Ridge, Chin Ridge, Bold Hill. There's a Buck Hill as well, which I wasn't aware of, but just a little bit there. And what else have we got? Five Forks, yeah. So we'll see how we get on really. It should be quite fun. My 1685 project, that's going well. I've done all the pikes now, and the pikes I've actually reverted back to the florist wire. The brush was very good, but they were just a little bit off scale, I felt, and I preferred the scale of the florist wire. So what I've done is I've filed the ends of the pikes, so there's a slight point on most of them, and I'm very happy with that. So, and I'll show you that once I've done all the flags. I am going to do slightly bigger flags. I think when I asked for 15mm flags, I got the true 15mm. Which, yeah, no problem with that. That was from Maverick models, but obviously true 15mm is like 10mm nowadays, so it's probably a little bit on the small scale for my purposes. But I don't like oversized flags, so but I'm going to order some more on that. But the main ones that I've got from them in the main is the Rebels, the Monmouth flags and stuff. So which they do very well. So highly recommended, Maverick models, which was suggested to me by one of my viewers, Ralph Astley, which I'm grateful for, because I was at a bit of a loggerhead with that. I was having to adapt too many flags, which is quite time consuming. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. So it's really not that expensive, that so far. The wood from, I think it was from Champion, was it, wood place in the UK. It's a sort of chain of timber you can get. That was about £20, something along those lines. It's actually a bit thicker than it needs to be, and with that a bit heavier, but yeah, it's just a plywood 4x4. So that's, and then obviously cardboard free. PVA glue, well, I've got a massive vat of PVA glue I got from the builders merchants, which I just then decant periodically into my model glue dispenser, which is fine for this sort of thing. Yeah, so that's it really at the moment. For the 1685 project, I'm painting up the militia units, but also some of those will also feature in the later rebellion of the Killiecrankie rebellion, whereby Mackay's regiments, Scottish regiments, Mackay's was a red lined unit, which there wasn't a red line unit I'm aware of at Sedgemoor, so I'm doing that as a militia unit, but they will obviously duplicate for the Mackay's regiment for the Killiecrankie battle. What else is there? Yeah, so yeah, I think 2 mil, it should be quite an interesting scale to do this. I probably will make sure that the brigades are labelled. Certainly the divisions will be labelled, but the brigades probably also, because there's some quite famous brigades taking part, which is nice to mention them for, as they're famous, you know, and they deservedly so. So yeah, I'm gonna probably label the brigades as well as the. So it might make it a little bit cluttered. We'll see, but I will have to identify units because they're so small. I mean, that's just. Most units will be between 8 or 6 and 6 and probably 10 or something like that. But you do get some extra large units, so and they would be two units of 200. So yeah. So it'll be it should be quite interesting. I'm hoping the scale is about right, or certainly it doesn't detract from the game if the scale is slightly out. I don't think it will be. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, should be fun. So we'll keep at it, and it'll take me a little while because obviously I've got to glue down the base contours and then start doing the proper hills. I started on some of them already. This is just a slight ridge, but not anything. It's not really part of the battlefield, but I just put it there because it's a feature on the map. So some of these hills will have a number of other layers so that they do represent good contours. Some of them won't. I'll just do a one level contour on some, just because it was quite rolling countryside. Stony Ridge will probably stretch a lot further down here, although I've just done it kind of around that area. I will probably stretch it further down here, but not at the same height level. So there'll just be one contour coming down here probably, just to show the sort of slight increase of ground, and then obviously the actual top of the ridge will be a number of contours there. So hopefully it shouldn't take. And then what I'll do is after that I will put on in sections kitchen towel with PVA, and that should contour it quite well. I'll also masking tape with decorator's tape along the edges, just to give them a nice gradient for the units to walk up, because you find with PVA it's quite sharp and it will bring out the edges really quite significantly. So I'll probably use masking tape for the most part, and perhaps a little bit of filler, but I don't want to use too much filler because potentially I want to be able to use this, scrap Manassas once I've done the first and second. I might do it around about though. I might do the second one first and then the first Manassas. I'll see. And then use it for others. Like when you perhaps do Gettysburg, Antietam. I'd like to do Antietam. So probably may have to have 2 battlefields for that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the scales for it. But in the I'm not using the scale for the Fire and Fury because they're I think 1 yard equals. This is about almost double scale to the Fire and Fury battlefield maps. So they come in sort of, they come in about Stuart's Hill. So there'd be more. Their maps are kind of more like this sort of thing. Bottom of Stuart's Hill, I believe. Yeah, so we've got a bit more space there. Not that much of the the bigger part of the map featured a great deal, but it would be just nice to have when you're bringing in units and stuff like that. It'd be nice to have a bit more strategic scope or more scope for manoeuvre. And then of course there's a what if battles. I'll probably do the original battle to the best I can with using the various rules I've got, and then I'll perhaps look to see if doing a what if one. So there we go. That's how we're getting on. Any other news? I don't think so. I just thought I'd give you a little update. I'm looking at colonials as well. I'm looking at perhaps I'm thinking of doing one of the colonial, whether it's the Zulu campaign or the Manassas campaign. I'm not sure yet, and I'm not sure what scale. I'm thinking 10 mil. I would like to do 15 mil as well, but the thing is, for that mass Zulu or Manassas effect, I don't think really 15 mil will be. I won't have a big enough table really to regularly do that. So I thought perhaps using either 10 mil, 6 mil. I'm not sold on 6 mil at the moment. Of the manufacturers I've seen, and I won't mention the ones I've seen, but they're a little bit too chunky for my liking. But most of the time I've looked at them have been for Napoleonics. The sort of how a kind of dwarf look to them. A bit like the old Mike X6 Mike's models, was it? Many years ago, the sort of squatty. They're quite cute, but it's not for what I want. So I may go 10 mil. But equally with 10 mil, I want to have a variety of poses, so we'll go from there. So that was my wife arriving back from a night out with her NCT friends, which was the people, sort of family. When people are in the family way, they have a club you can go to, and which we did when we were expecting our children, and some of those friends we kept in touch with, and they remain friends now. So periodically have get-togethers. So anyway, that's about it really. So Andy Mack from the first Battle of Manassas in 2mm. Bye for now.